called, so go for it, dude.
I know, man. I got a whole head of hair, and I'm just tired of it, and I just want to shave it.
That's a cop. I'm sure that won't really fits the dress code at least.
Yeah, yeah. I'll fit the norm, that's for sure.
Oh man. So here's what it gives you at first. Now, well, it doesn't give you all of this. So what you're doing this time is learning how to use um, what do they call them? So there's a goal, like a goal setting, and then like there's something called a solver. It's under data, and you have to actually download it, and it's really simple. But
Bless you.
what you have to thank you. So what you're doing is you're taking this data here that they give you, and you're creating these other little tables to get this information here. And so what the assignment is there's a faculty member at BYU Idaho who has bought some land and he's going to start a family farm to make a little bit of profit to teach his kids how to work. And he wants to know, using this information that he's gathered, what will be the most profitable for him. So, here's the type of stuff that he can plant. Each plant requires so many square feet per plant. Here's how much profit he makes per plant. And here's how much each plant will be available to him from his supplier. And so we know that he has 1.2 acres of farm, farmable land. And so what you have to do is you have to go in and find out how many square feet are in an acre to get his total acreage. So, which is pretty simple.
Yeah.
And then you use this information here to create this information that I have highlighted yellow. And so the way you do that, and he walks you through this in the assignment, is you go to the solver tab and it pulls it up. And so first it's going to ask you to set the objective. So what is our end objective? Our end objective is to find out, the total profit. Okay. And I forgot to do a very important step for this. Hang on. So before we do this, what we need to do is put the formulas in that we need for to determine, to kind of help this program determine what's going to be best. So to start here with the total profit. So what you do for total profits is you have to decide, you put in for each cell is what is F. So this is F5. So this is corn. So how many of this times the profit, right? So it's number of plants times the profit is going to give us so much money, and the number of plants times potatoes times this much going to give us this much money. And you do that for all the plants all the way down the row. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah.
So that's the equation you would use to find out like total profits. You'd find out, okay, if I need 600 squash gives me $15. I get $15 for every squash I plant. How much money am I going to make from that? So okay. So you go through before any of this is calculated at all. You fill out this formula, this little equation.
Okay.
And then the next thing you do is you come here, and then you do the same thing, but instead of looking for profits, you go for square feet. Okay. So you do this equation down here to determine if I plant this many products, this many of each plant, how much square feet is that going to take up? Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. And I think that's good. Okay. So then you go to the solver. Then you click on, okay, I want to know about total profits. And then the changing variables. So we want them to be as high as they can. And it talks about that in the assignment why. And then we're going to change these variables here in this section. When you start this, all of this says TBD, so you just delete that. It all turns to 0. So you want to determine how many of each plant do you need to maximize profits.
Okay.
All right. And then you add what they call these constraints. And you click on add, and then it pops up this little box. Here, I'll show it to you. This little box. And then what it does is ask you to reference a cell. So what we're like, for instance, what we do is we clicked on this cell here, and we wanted it to be less than or equal to this cell. So we don't want the square feet to be greater than what's available to us.
Okay.
All right. Make sense?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So that's one of the ones we did. We also did that we didn't want F5 through S12 E5. Okay, so we also had to put, because there's only so many plants available, what I did is I just highlighted this whole row here. You can see F5 to F12, and we need it to be less than or equal to what's available to the supplier here. Boom. Okay?
Gotcha.
And then the last one.
And you're locking all those?
You're not locking. Wait, they lock automatically.
Oh, okay, cool. All right.
So, and the last thing we do is we highlighted this cell again as well. And then instead of doing the less than or equal to, you go down to integer, meaning that it'll give you a whole number.
Okay.
What it normally does is it breaks it up into small little numbers, like 59, like 599 point whatever. So it gives you into whole number, so it's usable. All right.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how you set the first thing up. Yeah. So the next thing it asks you to do, let me look here. So it creates a dashboard with that you use buttons to choose options. And then you create not a drop-down list to summarize the information on this. Okay. So then you create this dashboard, and I couldn't figure out how to make these look bigger or nicer, so that you can select buttons and then it'll change. It'll give you this information down here. Okay.
So you learned how to do that as well.
Okay. Yeah. So you have to do this well. Again, this is relatively simple. It's like the assignment we did a little while ago. So and you'll see this. So, what I did is, I created 8 buttons. I named each button according to an index function. And then, so here's the index that I used to start it. So indexed, it asks you to select what you're looking for. But for this first one, I just wanted to go crop name. So the type of crop, I just selected this group. And then I went back and then I selected this cell, C10. So when I click on potatoes is the second one. So it pulls up potatoes.
Gotcha.
Okay. So it's important now. So this is what and it's easy to do. So make sure that your buttons are in order so that like the first one, corn, like it appears like when I click on corn, it's 2. When I click on potatoes, which is the second one, it's 2. And when I click on corn, it's 1, potatoes is 2, and squash is 3. So, and it's really easy. Like you just create you just create your buttons, and then as you create your buttons, just like the button option 1 is number 1, so you just name that one corn. You got to, it's pretty simple. All right. So I indexed that. Okay. So then the next one, the 8 feet. Again, this was pretty simple. Oh shoot! Why did I do that? Oh, that's what I did. That's interesting. Oh, that happened there. Potatoes. I don't know why I'm seeing -1. Oh, so mine did some weird thing. I don't know why it did this. So it was giving me negatives of everything. Like there was some weird negative function. I couldn't figure it out. So I just times the answer by -1 to give me a positive answer.
Okay.
So that's what I did. You might not have that problem. Hopefully you don't. So
and then you add the concatenate with the square feet at the end.
Yeah, I just did that for just to make it look nice. But you don't have that wasn't a part of it. So so again, for index, I highlighted what I wanted to find out, which is requirement per square feet, which is here. Again, super simple. At that same cell where that 2 is located at. And then times it 1, and then I put square feet. I literally just copied it over, and it followed over everything just fine.
Okay.
Because I locked this cell.
Gotcha. Okay.
So I locked that cell. I copied it over, and then I erased the concatenate. Okay. So that's the second thing. The third thing it wants you to do is so if the facility member wants to buy more land, he's thinking about adding more land. He wants to be able to input it in the dashboard and then run another solver to calculate how much he needs. And again, this is really simple. So I just created a little section here, total acreage, where we can change this input to, say 1.75. I'm going to hit enter. So what I did is I came down here and I made this equal that cell, that input cell for the one where the acreage is at. And then I did this and then for this I just did this cell times this cell gives us this. Now how to change all this information here, all this information in yellow, is you just go to solver and then you hit solve again. And it recalculates everything automatically.
Okay.
Okay. And so this is boom, and which then again changes this dashboard of what's going to be needed and what's going to be used. All right.
Cool.
So it's really simple. So yeah. So that's literally the whole thing, and then it's your standard, the standards of procedure, standards of professionalism.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay.
So nice and simple.
Cool, man.
That's literally just once you go through the assignment, you'll see how simple it is. It didn't take me too long. It took me a little bit to figure out a few things, but let's watch this video.
I'll watch the video. And I got to go to bed because I have an escort tomorrow for a soldier that was killed in action.
Oh man!
They're bringing his body back, and we have to escort his body to the funeral home from the airport.
Oh.
I told you I'm back on the motorcycle unit, right?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, man, I got back on the motorcycle. I'm not at the police academy anymore.
Do you like that better?
Oh yeah, man, the police academy was disappointing. I thought it was going to be a better experience than it was.
That's too bad.
Yeah, but it's all right because I have options. I mean, it's a big police department. We have almost 2,000 officers.
That's huge.
Yeah, it's really big, and they really like me at the motorcycle unit, so they offered to have me come back, and I'm like, yeah, I'll come back. So yeah, worked out.
What kind of bike do you ride?
BMW 1200R.
Nice.
The police edition, so it's basically an RS, but it's police edition, so nothing really special about that other than the fact that it has police lights and a siren and all that stuff on it. So. Single seat, no double seat.
I assume so. That's how your tandem thing.
Arrest somebody, take them to jail, man. Throw them over the gas tank with some bungee cords.
You just handcuff them to they just hold them on you from the back handcuffed.
Yeah. So. Be like, hey, this is your first test. Don't let go.
Yeah.
Dude, that'd be funny, man. Joy.
Yeah. You get overtime. You guys don't do overtime for stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
This is part of what you do.
Yeah, I get a lot of overtime.
Well, that's good.
I'll see if I can send you a video.
Yeah.
I'll show you a video. I'll send you a video, see if it sends of me riding. We had a competition. This is a couple years ago, but I'll see if it'll send to you. It's probably going to have to shorten the clip. That's going to take a minute. I'll send it to you as soon as I get it downloaded. Yeah, awesome. Just me during the competition. So just kind of show you what we do when we ride. It's fun. Yeah, got back on the motorcycle. I hadn't been on the bike in a year and a half, and man, I got back on that bike, and it was like going home. It was so nice.
And Austin's pretty nice weather too. So.
Oh, dude, I ride like 362 days out of the year.
Do you have a bike at home then?
I used to. I crashed it.
Like every other guy on a bike. I've never ridden. I live in Colorado now, and because I didn't want one in Houston because it rains so suddenly there.
Yeah.
And the traffic in Houston's terrible. But out here, yeah. So I really want to get one out here. So I've been looking on and off, but so we'll see.
It's one of those things where if you're going to get a bike, and I tell everybody, if you're going to get a bike, get something cheap to start off with. Something you don't care if it gets scratched or gets dropped or anything like that. Just buy something cheap.
That was my plan, just to get comfortable.
Don't just go to a basic rider safety course. Like spend the money. and go to like a legit advanced riders course. And I mean, it's totally worth the money. Totally worth the money.
I'm sure it will be. Like I worked with a guy for a little while that like had done a bunch of motorcycle instruction. He's like, yeah, they are dangerous because he rode every day out here, for the most part.
Yeah.
And he's like, but there's like, he's like, half of all people that die from motorcycles aren't wearing a helmet. He goes, if you wear a helmet, your life expectancy goes through the roof. He goes, and then if you take the half, like the remaining half of those people, so like a quarter of those die because they're intoxicated while they're riding. Yep. He's like, so if you don't drink and you wear a helmet, like it's almost the same. Like it's super. Like it's actually really not as dangerous as they make it sound.
Yeah, it's not. And on top of that, one of the other things that I personally have seen is a lot of guys that get hurt or crash their bikes. The vast majority of them are riding beyond their capabilities. Like the bikes that we ride, they are capable of doing just insane things. Like I could, my BMW, I could probably hit 150, 160 miles an hour, no big deal.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't push yourself to the limitations, you'll never end up having to wonder whether or not you're going to survive if something happens. I always say this to everybody: ride 80%. Don't ever ride to 100% of your abilities. Ride to 80%, and that's it. Once you hit 80, you're done. Don't ride beyond that.
Yeah, I mean, like my wife. I thought my wife would be a little. My wife grew up riding motorcycles with her dad. Her dad was a big rider, and the only reason I hesitate to get a motorcycle is because other drivers. And this is like, I have a few buddies that are pretty crazy. One was like a Marine sniper, and he's literally not right in the head. Like he has like, and you know those guys. I mean, they're good guys, but you're like, dude, you don't think like normal people think. So
no.
He's like, dude, I've done crazy stuff in my life. I don't own a motorcycle. I was like, I don't trust anybody else out here. And like that's what they say. As my father-in-law got hit by an old guy, just didn't see him, just plowed right into him, and he can't turn his neck very far. He doesn't have feeling in his 3 fingers on his right hand from this motorcycle accident. I'm like, that's the only thing that's why I haven't bought one yet. But
yeah,
the longer I live out here, the more I'm like, oh man, I really want one.
They are, dude. They're super dangerous, but one thing's for sure, man. I love to ride.
Yeah.
Like, cannot even describe how much I enjoy being able to ride.
Yeah. So I'm going dirt biking for the first time in years this coming weekend with my brother-in-law.
Nice.
He's a big motorcycle guy. So we're gonna go. So I'm excited, but I haven't gone probably in 15, 18 years. So I'm pumped.
So take it slow. Don't try to catch up to him.
Yeah, because he's a super experienced rider, and I have experience with motorized vehicles and things like that. Like we used ATVs and but motorcycles are a little different. Although they when it comes to like off-roading stuff, motorcycles are significantly safer than for ATVs, which is funny. But
let's see if it'll let me send it to you.
Yeah, send it over.
I just see if it sends. Trying to send it.
Gotcha. All right, man.
Anyway, cool, man. Well, hey, dude, enjoy your trip to Arizona.
Yeah. So I'll be driving Thursday night, so I don't know if I'll be able to meet up Thursday night or not. But Friday or Saturday, whatever works better, I'll just keep in touch, and then we can hop on real quick and get credit for the meeting.
So, yeah, sounds good, man.
All right, dude.
And I don't even know if he even looks at that. I think he just checks.
Well, you have to have a video submitted, and if I have to have one submitted, I don't mind like hopping on and because I went through the material like for some that again for that lesson. It doesn't look too difficult, so hopefully the project won't be too bad and get it knocked out.
So. Yeah, bro.
All right, dude.
All right, man. Well, hey, appreciate it, dude, and we'll catch you later.
Yeah, see you, man. Bye.
All right, later.